So you enter Azkaban.
Yes.
The doors open and you see a long, dark corridor, and then heading off of that, other corridors, further than the eye can see, basically. To your left, part of the wall of the corridor seems to have been knocked through, allowing sort of a window that looks almost like a reception welcome desk, and next to it, a door labelled office. And behind the desk is a lovely, smiling, attractive young woman. She says, "Hey there, welcome to Azkaban. We're currently not in operation right now, but I'd be happy to arrange for a portkey to take you back to mainland. Hi, välkommen till Azkaban. Vi yrka I drift akkurat nu. Men jag vill gimla ordna med en portkontroll som tar dig tillbaka till fastlandet. Gesas. Galos iret as Azkaban. Aftin, and she carries on going through.
Yeah.
Just very good.
I was wondering when somebody was going to jump in.
No, please, carry on.
Yeah.
Azkaban. She continues, and the sort of her voice sort of fills your ears, and then this sort of damp smell is filling your nose of the sort of not very well looked after.
Is she meeting eye contact, just speaking?
She is. It kind of could look like art. You know how the Mona Lisa follows you around?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. It's sort of glazed over, smiling look, but it could be eye contact.
Flint's going to reach over to shake her hand. Does she reciprocate?
Willkommen auf Azkaban! Absolutely no response. Okay.
I cast silence.
Go ahead, give me a simple magic. She does not respond to the tapping whatsoever. She's still spieling as Albert waves his wand.
Yes, success.
And suddenly her mouth is...
Thanks, Albert. Okay.
Is she under a charm spell?
Give me a simple magic check to be able to discern whether she is. Or actually, it's probably better to do a power check, I think, because that would be how in tune to magic you are.
It's a fail, unfortunately.
It's a fail. So you can't tell. Maybe this is just the way that she is. Maybe she's under a charm. It's hard to say.
Okay.
She's clearly either a stooge or something placed here to throw us off the scent. This isn't worth our time, surely.
Yeah, probably not. What can we see around us?
Around the floor where she is.
So you can't necessarily see her feet because there's a sort of hole in the wall where you can just see her sort of at this much. It appears like there's a desk in front of her, and next to her there is a door that says office that you can sort of assume would give you access to the room or area that she's in.
Is the floor covered in dust, or is it like immaculately clean? Or
It's no sort of the floor and the whole area around her is in keeping with everything you can see in the corridor. There's damp, there's mold, it's a bit dirty. You can sort of smell musk, if you will. So yeah, not particularly well tended to at all.
Okay.
Should I go in the office?
Yeah.
Go in and have a quick look.
You go ahead.
So you open the door to the office, and inside there's not anything too much of interest apart from these two that are sat on, among many other things, but these are the two that catch your eye. There are also reports that talk about forcing the werewolf curse on Muggleborns. There are things that talk about turning spells into potions. There are countless patient files to wade through. I'm talking dozens and dozens of them. But these are the two main things that you notice.
Whilst they're reading their bits, can I have a look? The stuff. Is there any more information about the thing about turning Muggleborns into werewolves, or? So
it's one of many sort of experiments that you sort of see being mentioned, and it's the lycanthrope disease that will infect people from a bite. Whether one, it works with Muggleborns despite having less magical blood, and two, whether it's something that can be sort of man-made rather than infected. And the details of the experiments are that there are people in this facility that are being infected with the lycanthropy disease.
Okay. What have you guys found?
So I'm going to go back out to the corridor where these guys are quite excited. I found a patient file for Rowan Bones and also for
Larissa. Cuppity.
But that's... It can't be. No. It can't be. Not here, not like this.
Who is she, Albert?
We have to find... We have to venge deeper. We have to find her. If it's her, if she's here, if she's alive. We have to go now. I pull out my wand. In fact, it's not even the right wand. It's the next one from earlier. And I go up to the woman on the front desk. I unsilence her, however that's done.
Sure.
And I plead with her to tell me where I find the prisoners. Where are the prisoners? Where are the people you are holding here? Where are they?
Hey there, welcome to Azkaban. The facility is not in operation right now, but if you need a port key back to the mainland, I can
Cast silence again.
I
Okay.
cast the Imperious curse on her.
give me a simple magic check.
Simple magic check.
You're not in combat, so it's simple.
Yeah. A strong pass.
Okay, perfect.
Just.
So you pass, which costs you 25 magic points, so make sure you spend those. I'm also going to need a constitution check, so to check your sanity.
All good?
Okay, so you don't lose any sanity because you are in such a driven place for it. And suddenly she just sits there like smiling but not talking anymore.
Take me to the prisoners now.
Albert. It doesn't look good.
Give it to me.
Give it to him, please.
I'm sorry, mate. It's yeah, they put her through a lot. What the fuck are they doing to people in here?
We have to hold these people accountable for their actions.
We will.
This ends tonight. It has to.
We'll do it, Albert. For Larissa.
I will be bringing Dr. Achristus back to the ministry.
I'm no longer part of the ministry, but I'll be there with you.
And Alaric.
What of Rowan?
He appears to be alive, from what I can see. But again, he's being subjected to torture, I don't suppose.
Horrible tests.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to have a read through. Read through.
I'll take a look.
Tells you where he is. He's on floor 17.
Is there anything in the office? There's no floor plan, map, anything?
Yeah, so there's a map of the facility on the wall, which basically, or at least the ground floor, which basically shows you that the main corridor that you would be heading up, if you didn't take any of the tangents, would take you to what's called the ballroom. And on the other side of the ballroom is a stairwell to take you up.
Okay, shall we? Operation Dementor.
I command my possessed woman to take us to the elevator, to take us to floor 17.
Oh, honey, elevators haven't been invented yet. But I can take you to the stairwell. So she leads you out the door of the office and along the corridor. And as you go further up the corridor, you start to hear the sound of music. Classical music, pianos, violins, harps being played. And then you hear chatter as well, quite positive chatter. People seem like they're having a good time. And there's a double door at the end of the corridor, and you can just see the light peeking through underneath. And she sort of leads you up to the door and she says, "The stairwell's the other side of the ball." And she pushes the door open. And as she does so, you see beyond a room elegantly decorated with golden tapestries plastering the wall, fancy silverware set around these well-dressed tables, and candelabras providing ample light to see everything. But not so much that it kills the mood. You can see it's quite a dramatic mood in here, quite a sort of a nice atmospheric evening. There's a light mist sort of carpeting the floor to sort of, again, add to that sort of feeling of theatrics and charades and stuff. It almost feels like a jarring juxtaposition to go from this dank, damp, disgusting corridor into this elegant and beautifully kept room. The music is upbeat. There are dozens of guests in there chatting to each other, enjoying food, dancing on the dance floor. Enchanted instruments are playing in sort of on a raised stage in the corner. For all intents and purposes, it seems like everyone's having a good time.
As we walk in, I've hurt people in my time, but this is beyond all reason. Why are these people celebrating? It makes no sense to me.
As you say that, somebody comes up to you and she says, "Have we danced before? You remind me of my love Robert. Oh, how I miss him. Could you dance with me? It'd be like one last dance with my husband." And she sort of holds her hand out and tries to guide you out onto the dance floor. Can I get a constitution check, please?
It's a fail.
Fail. You're inclined to go with her. She's a pretty woman. She's asked you very nicely, and you sort of also trying to be nice. She just wants one last dance with her husband. So you take her hand and she guides you out onto the dance floor, and you begin ballroom dancing together.
Okay. Do we notice anything strange about the people who are dancing? Like,
give me a. Just give me a D100 roll.
65.
You think everybody seems, as Flint sort of pointed out, peculiarly happy and unperturbed by the facility they're in. So much so that it's not sitting right with you. You can't put your finger on it, or perhaps you can, but not exactly why. It just doesn't quite seem right.
I'm gonna go and try and get Flint away from, like, back from the dance floor to go to the staircase.
Okay.
Thank you.
As you move towards him, you're intercepted by somebody who says, "Fancy yourself a bit of a strong wand, do you? Perhaps we should put that to the test outside later if you think you got what it takes, huh? I was the Gloucestershire Young Dueling Champion of 1774, don't you know? But first, you gotta try the hog roast. Come with me and try some hog roast, won't you? Can you give me a constitution check?
Yeah, no, thank you. God, please don't.
Not one. Let's go, boys.
On his face, you can read the exact same expression that was on the receptionist's face. And as you glance over to Flint, you see his face has a matching expression, as does the woman that he's dancing with. And as you look around, everybody in the room seems to have this same vacant, joyful expression that isn't joy at all. It's clearly a facade.
This is giving Shining right now.
Am I able to tell what's like affecting Flint in the way that, because we spoke to the lady at the desk and like it didn't like entrap us or anything.
Yeah, give me a power check, please.
It's a pass?
It's a pass. So you notice something unusual about the mist across the floor and how anytime anybody seems to move, it wafts up. And Flint in particular, as he dances, more of it wafts up and he's clearly breathing it in, whereas you clearly have got quite lucky with your breath. Perhaps that's what's causing it.
Okay. Can I try... Can I try like Scourgify to just see if to like clear the mist? Would that work?
You can. You won't be able to clear it from the whole room, but you can pick an area.
Yeah, by Flint, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Give me a simple magic.
Yeah, just.
Perfect. So the mist sort of clears and Flint mid-dance sort of comes to a realization that he doesn't really remember why he's dancing or when he started dancing. This woman in front of you is sort of smiling as she dances. You can discern that because she's been subject to the mist for much longer, it would take far longer for it to wear off than it would for him.
And I just say, like cover your mouths, like it's something to do with the mist, and like I pull up my sort of shirt or whatever, and try not to breathe it.
His handkerchief and covers his face.
Yeah.
Watching you.
And the two of you, anything?
Yeah, I just take a handkey from my pocket.
I'm obsessed with this. I'm still outside of the room.
Okay, just poring over the file.
Yeah, and
Something else.
I've discovered something. But obviously, watching yourself be taken by this mist, I can see here that they are conducting primary tests. Imperio controls target. So that mist has a control over the room, which is why you experienced what you experienced. It seems to be the primary test for Rowan. I assume it's the primary test for everyone here, or secondary test.
Yeah.
It seems to be under 3 types of tests.
Okay.
So yeah, this room. We even need.
Presumably you guys have come back to the door to sort of hear Thomas brief you on this. And as you do, you hear a call from high up. The ceilings in this room are some 15, 20 feet tall. And up there you hear a call. You hear, "Dance!" And you look up and there's a balcony halfway up the wall on which a sort of masked, black-robed wizard is sort of almost like a conductor orchestrating everybody from below, commanding them to dance. And then he says, "Raise your glasses!" And everybody in command raises their glasses and cheers.
I follow suit with what he's saying so as not to draw attention to
Nice. Okay, nice. I like that. You don't need to give me a roll for that. That's perfect.
Okay. And I guess I'm going to dance, but dance towards the stairwell. That's
Cool. Okay. So all of you sort of following suit, dancing towards the
Whilst subtly covering our faces.
Yeah.
to not-
Furious at anyone even that has a hand in this. And I cast Bombarda straight at the balcony.
Huge.
Fair enough.
Okay, lovely. Give me a he's not engaged with you right now, so give me a simple magic check for Bombarda.
Yeah, pass.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, on that note, I guess everybody else needs to roll initiative because combat is about to start. This is going to be preemptive, so I'll have him going last as he...
6.
Oh, nice. No.
Jesus.
16.
Oh, yes.
Wasted.
So, you can't...
Man, my intention was to just have him come out of the balcony. I shot it at the balcony.
Okay, well, then the balcony breaks and he falls, probably about 10 feet. If you can give me... So Bombarda is going to be 2d6 of explosive damage to the area, that's fine. If you just do a d6 for sort of regular damage to him as he falls.
6.
Wow, that's...
Nice. Cool. Okay, Beardmore, you are going to be the first to engage him. If you want to, you're obviously heading towards the stairwell. You don't have to engage or get into the combat. But as Albert has started things...
Yeah, no, I've got to do it for Albert. I'm going to cast Langlock on him.
Very smart. Okay, yes.
Yeah, success.
Nice. Okay. As you do that, you hear him try and say, "Hello! Hello!" And he can't order his subjects around. Meanwhile, Thomas, you are up.
I'm going to follow suit and send Incendio, cast Incendio, and
Nice.
fire towards him.
Okay, very good. Go ahead, give me a dueling check.
Okay, I can do it again. Oh, yes. Fuck
Nice.
yeah, it lands.
Nice.
I only assume this is the doctor.
Just as
Yeah.
standard.
You're going to give me 2d6 of fire damage.
Yeah, 8.
8 damage. That puts me on 31. And as you do so, the mist on the floor catches alight, and very quickly, like oil, the whole room sort of spreads with patches of fire around the ground where the mist is.
Is everyone on fire? They're dancing on fire.
One good thing I do kills everyone.
The room sort of fills with smoke quite swiftly as the mist starts to burn. Meanwhile, this guy sort of rips off his mask, and Flint, you immediately recognize your former partner from the Aura's office underneath it. Your partner being
It is Carl.
Carl.
The K.
With the K.
Okay. Carl. Any surname, or just you just went by Carl?
It's Carl.
Just Carl. You recognize Carl. His face.
Put me on the spotlight like, come on, guys. Make up a name.
No, I appreciate that. So you recognize Carl's face as he rips his mask off, trying to pry his tongue from the top of his mouth, and he simply can't. So in fury, he goes for a. He's going to have to go for with disadvantage, go for a Crucio curse at the person who casted the Langlot curse on him. But because he can't say the incantation, it's going to have to be at disadvantage.
Sorry, his last name is Deep Rock.
Which is 37, so that's still a success. So the Cruciatus curse comes at you for 3d6 of damage, which is 3, 6, only 7 damage. But you are incapacitated for 2 more rounds.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wrecked.
Cool. And as he does that, the fire suddenly begins to spread into the other sort of guests who are dancing. Not enough to break the curse on them. Clearly, they've been under this spell for a while, and they just sort of continue in their moves, dancing in the flames as their clothes begin to set alight. Albert, we're on to your turn now.
Yeah, I just continue the fight and just cast Expelliarmus at him because I wish no further harm to my comrade.
Okay, very good. If you give us a dueling check, then.
Fail.
Okay, you cast Expelliarmus, but all the flames, everything that's happening, he's flailing about trying not to burn, so the spell sort of goes wayward, and you're not able to disarm him. Flint, we're on to you. Face to face with your former partner before you were let go.
Carl Deep Rock.
Carl Deep Rock. Love that.
I also cast Expelliarmus
Very good.
with advantage, but that's 12
Oh, nice.
and then 8. So
Fab. Okay, his wand flies perfectly out of his hand, and so much so that you can catch it. That's sort of the perfect trajectory for you. So you have his wand, and he sort of is on his knees where he fell, like his legs clearly quite hurt, and the flames begin to engulf him a little bit more. Who cast Incendio? It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you do me another d6 of damage for him as he's surrounded by flames, please?
2.
Nice. He starts to scream.
Am I still being affected by the Crucio curse?
The Cruciatus curse is incapacitating you, but you don't take any more damage from it.
That's me being...
how much damage did you take?
Not that much, but it's uncomfortable in it.
Still, it's awful.
Yeah.
What you will take is a constitution check to see if being tortured such impacts your sanity.
No, get fucked.
Nice.
I love it.
The adrenaline. Thomas, you're up.
Can I try and use Aguamenti and try and dampen some of this fire?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm semi-tempted to do it in his direction because he might have answers.
Okay.
Not just on him. Like, I think we need to get him to answer some questions before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
But it's in that general direction.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Dribbles out of your wand.
I'm glad I built it up as well.
You cast it, but it's just so warm from the fire and the smoke sort of getting in your eyes that you get distracted and you sort of pour a bit of water down yourself. Meanwhile, Carl is about to have a turn, and he's now going to turn to Albert, who blasted him down, and try the Cruciatus Curse.
He hasn't got a wand.
He doesn't have a wand. He is not going to do that. His tongue is also attached to the top of his mouth. He's just going to go, but in a really scary way. Meanwhile, it's Albert's turn.
I'll just punch him square in the face.
Yes, buddy.
Nice.
Yes.
Give me a strength check with advantage.
You need it because you're weak as fuck. Come on.
No, this is the exact same roll.
So you head towards him to try and punch him, but all the flames sort of disorientate you. And as you sort of swing, you how badly did you fail? What did you roll?
That's pretty bad.
Okay, you sort of swing and you miss and you fall into the flames yourself. You're not currently taking burn damage, but your clothes are about to set fire if you don't do something about it on your next turn. Flint, we're back to you.
Flint holsters the wands. In fact, no, he throws it back to you because you're at the back. And seeing Albert, and after reading the reports of his mother, goes to punch him in the face with his brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Nice. Go ahead, give me a strength check. With the knuckles this time, do it with advantage.
So that's 32, that's a definite hit, that's a success, and that is a nat 1.
What?
Nice. Okay, we'll do
Albert.
Yes.
we'll do a D8 because it's critical. You know what? We'll do a D10, but because it's a critical, we'll double it.
Okay. It's a 5 doubled.
Nice.
Huge.
His head comes off.
You feel his nose pop beneath your fist and sort of blood spurt everywhere. And if his tongue wasn't attached to his mouth, he would have screamed more. But as it is, he just sort of goes, no! Again, as sort of the blood drips down him. And suddenly the flames that are surrounding him sort of start lapping up around his face. The flesh starts to sort of blister and bubble as he is basically being cooked.
After absolutely clocking this guy, can I start like helping to pull him out of the flame?
Yeah. Helping Carl?
No.
Helping Albert? Yeah, absolutely you can. Yeah.
No, he can burn, right?
You pull Albert out of the flames. Carl is starting to sort of burn up. As we move on to Beardmore is having his last incapacitation then. So you manage to get up to your feet having been hurt, and that's the end of your turn, sort of getting back up. Thomas, you're up.
Okay.
Do it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Incendio. The fire's already started.
Double down, fuck it, yeah.
As well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Immolation.
In obviously his
Let's have
general direction, yeah. Lance, yeah.
Nice. Give me 2d6 of damage then.
3, 4, 7.
Tell me exactly what happens as the life leaves his eyes.
So as I cast the spell, it targets straight at his face, and as it hits his face, it just pulls the flesh from him.
Nice.
And the life from his eyes just dissipate, and he falls backwards, lifeless, dead.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Last Crusade vibes, you know.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, so this guy falls lifeless to the floor. Are you guys interested in putting out the rest of the fire or allowing it to spread? You're sort of out of combat now, so you can sort of do as you please at this point.
I pull you up, and you gotta get a pair of these.
Thanks, Flynn. I need to work on that. I feel.
It's all right, mate.
Yeah, I guess we So what's happened now? Has the mist all burned away?
Yeah, so nothing's necessarily happened to the other people. Like I say, they've been under its effect for a while. It's still going to be in their bloodstream. So they're not going to, as a potion maker, you can understand that it's still going to be a number of hours before they're freed from its effects.
Yeah.
But this guy essentially as their puppet master, not giving them commands. They're all just sort of stood there in whatever they were doing before, whether it's dancing, chatting, eating. Probably going to be doing that for the foreseeable until they're freed.
Can we try to give them a command?
Give me a power check to see how well you understand the effects.
Yes, that would be fine. Just a normal pass.
Yep. So you understand that you've obviously decided that it's the Imperious Curse in potion form, sort of whittled down into a mist that's being pumped into the room. Only the sort of the caster or the person who implements it can give them commands they'll respond to.
Flint's going to bend down and pick up the mask from Carl and just rip off his clothes. What was he wearing again?
It was sort of a black cloak, this mask.
So you're good, yeah. So
black robes, and then the same insignia on his belt buckle.
Take a piece of hair that might be along his neckline. And over to you, and the mask.
We could try that, can we?
Yeah.
Apologies potion.
Lovely. Yes, you did buy one, didn't you?
Yeah.
And also, he spits on Carl. So you fucking dobbed me.
So I'm gonna open the vial, place some of Carl's hair in, and then let it fizz, and then drink it.
And as you do so, you sort of drink it, and then as you bring your hand down, you see your flesh begin to bubble and sort of expand into the larger hands that Carl had. Your arms sort of get a bit hairier than they usually would be. You sort of feel yourself grow another sort of 3 or 4 inches. Your chest sort of broadens and sticks out, and for all intents and purposes, you look exactly like Carl did. And if you want to don the mask and the cloak, you will be completely indistinguishable.
Oh, you've got his one, don't you?
Yeah, so I will do that. I will make myself indistinguishable from him.
Phenomenal, absolutely.
And I will try and give a command. I'll just shout jump.
Oh yeah.
Intriguing.
Give me a power check.
Lands.
Everybody jumps.
Ooh. So now I have great power. What do I do with it? I had a thought, if that worked.
Yeah. God.
We could use them to fight with us.
Yeah. Even just to like cause mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and just
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to do that.
Tell them to burn this place to the ground.
Well, we should probably get Larissa out first, shouldn't we?
Do they deserve this, do you think?
What kind of life would they have after this anyway?
Well, we don't know. We've already seen 2 reports, so they could probably just be the same either way.
Let's see.
Should we leave them here for now? Or should we make them leave the room into the hallway we just came from, just to be safe from fire? Like,
Bring them up the stairs.
just rally us.
Use everything we've got in our power. We don't know what
I think it's
faces
a good
us.
idea.
Yeah?
Take them with
I
us.
need to go to floor 10.
Yeah, let's go to floor 10 first, then floor 17, and let's get the fuck out of here.
And they're coming with, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I hold my wand in the air and I shout, "With me!" And I start running
Like
in the
cattle,
direction.
they all sort of part in half and form a line behind you, and they charge after you, like Aragorn running into the gates of Mordor. Okay, so you head up the stairwell. It takes a while for everybody to get up there.
Approximately how many people?
You're probably looking at about 18, 19, 20 people, something like that. And you head up the stairwell to floor 10, where again you are met with a long corridor. And on either side there are doors, and the doors are numbered, and there are bars on either side.
Go to room 1009.
1009.
As you make your way along the corridor and you're looking at the numbers, you just happen to see through the window that's right by the number. The first thing to catch anybody's eye will be yours, Thomas. You catch the eye of someone you would assume would be quite well put together ordinarily, but currently is looking quite distressed. They've got long, tangled, sort of blonde, greyish hair and a bit of a beard. But the thing that makes the most impact on you is that there's a giant hole in his forehead, a bullet hole. It takes you a second, but you're able to place the face that you see. It's the face of Muggle King George III with a bullet through his head. And as you look like a meerkat in the lights, as you look through the window, he sees you. His face comes this close to it very abruptly, and you're sort of looking into his eyes, but you can see the bullet hole. And he says, "Why didn't you save me?" He's breathing really heavily, and as he does it, spit lands on your forehead.
Wow. I just take a step back. I don't know what to do. I just stare. I don't know.
As you take a step back, the door starts to rattle. "You should have saved me! You could have saved me! It's your fault! They killed me!" Can you give me a constitution check, please?
Yes.
My God.
All good.
All good?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, just roll a d4 then, rather than a d8 for sanity loss. Take 1 away from it as well.
Okay, so 1.
Nice. So you look into the face of King George III, but
Yes.
you're able to place that you in fact did save him. And this can't be real because you recall with great clarity what happened on that fateful night at the theatre.
Yeah. So I turn to my companions, just gather myself for a second, and I explained that in the year 1800, I went to the theatre. I had a similar thing to you. I had a fascination with Muggles. One of my parents was one. And I used to like to go to the theatre. I think what they can achieve, playing instruments, acting, I think it's fantastic that we, as wizards, just take for granted that they have genuine talent. And I sat, I was high up, incognito, if you like. Looked down to the front, saw a man. He didn't look like he belonged there. He was wearing stained clothes. I don't know how.
He seemed out of place.
Yeah, it's a well-to-do place to be. So I just kept my eyes on him. And as the king entered, the guy at the front was really interested in the position of the king. And as everyone stood for the national anthem, which is customary before any theatre, as you would know, especially when the king is in attendance, he turned and he pulled what can only be described as a pistol, is what it was. So I just discreetly got my wand and I cast the Confundus charm, and it was enough to jolt him, and the king survived. I saw the king. He was fine. He looked confident, in fact. No one knew what I had done. But he did not get shot in the head.
And as you gesture, you look back through the window and you see an empty cell. There's nothing in there. You have conquered your fear.
Oh.
And you carry on down the hallway towards the room that you seek. And you get to room 1009. And the door is locked. And as you peer through the window, it's too dark to see anything.
Without thought, I just cast the Lohomora.
Nice. Give me a simple magic check.
You have advantage on the Lohomora.
Nice.
Only just fail.
It's fine because it was a magic lock anyway. It wouldn't have worked. You cast Elohimora and the door sort of jolts, but it does not unlock.
Albert, mate, no, brace yourself. Albert, don't rush in there, mate. I've just seen my brother in Slytherin witness what he just told us. You don't know if it's real or not, okay? Perhaps what we've read might not be true.
I will not put this down to chance. I have to find out, and I have to find out now. My mother, as far as I know, is in that room. Please help me.
Can we look at the door?
Yeah, you can sort of discern that whilst it's a magic door, force, powerful charms that maybe could destroy balconies would probably be enough to get you in there.
I'll bombard it. So I'll cast Bombarder.
Fabulous. Give me a simple magic check.
Oh, that too.
You cast Bombarda with such precision that just the locking mechanism explodes. The rest of the door remains intact, able for you to let yourself in at your own pace, but also not to jolt anybody who inside might have any sort of trauma related to loud noises.
Of course, that would be terrible.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah.
I run in hastily and observe the room.
As you open the door, you see a small sort of window on the far side is letting moonlight in, and a wreck of a woman is dangling from chains at her wrists. Her legs have given way. She sort of dangles from the ceiling, hair covering her face. She whimpers, but sort of makes no indication that she's noticed you enter.
Mother, it's your son. It's Albert. I'm here. After all these years. Mother.
She looks up, and you just see her eyes through the hair that's falling in front of her face. And she whimpers, "Son? Is it really you, or is it another hallucination?"
It's really me, Mother. I've come to save you. I'm here to get you. I'll take you out of this place.
I don't need to be rescued. I just wanted to see you one last time. And as the final word leaves her mouth, her head droops, and you realise she was clinging to life through all of this just for one last chance to see you. And she goes peacefully and fulfilled onto whatever comes next.
I just descend to my knees in despair underneath my mother's remains as they hang from the wall.
Give me a con check, please.
I think I need a con check. That was devastating.
Jesus.
Fittingly fails.
Okay, give me a D10 check on sanity, please.
8. So.
You lose 8. And as you do so, you start to hear ringing in your ears, and all these Muggle radio broadcasts that you've heard in the past start playing almost consecutively. News, Muggle news, transportation information, weather reports, dramatizations of plays from the radio all start playing constantly. At first, lightly in your ears, but gradually getting slightly louder and slightly louder.
I am hearing that in the future, at some point, Muggles are going to invent the radio. And I am hearing the broadcast coming from the future invention of the radio.
It's fucked him. On your feet, man. You're an aura. I try and grab him by his arms and...
Stephen.
Amazing. You help him up. You save me out of the plot hole. And you escort him out of the room.
No, I offer my hip flask. I think it's about time, mate.
I take a heavy swig from the hip flask.
Nice.
2 of them, in fact.
Okay.
As I continue to hear
The future.
the future enter my brain.
Maybe that time turner was real. Okay. So you have successfully visited Larissa Cubberdy and fulfilled her dying wish of seeing her son again.
Wow. To floor 17. Let's make them pay for this, Albert.
As you turn around, you realise an audience of about 20 people witnessed that entire thing. All of them with this
Stood at attention, or
Yeah.
like...
all of them with this glazed look of joy.
I shout cry.
And they do. They all blub immediately.
You just... The amount of control, the amount of power you have, is this twisting you, sir?
You head up the stairs, another 7 floors, and you come to another corridor, again with doors lining it either side. And as you're walking down, again you're checking the numbers, and Flint, you take a look inside one of them, and you see the face of the very woman from the cabin outside, vines pouring out of her eyes, roots coming from her mouth, fungal spores sprouting from her eyebrows and her hair follicles. And she sobs green tears, holding on to the bars of the window, and she says to you, "You could have saved me from this!"
He casts Incendio.
Okay, give me a simple magic, please.
63, that's a fail.
You cast Incendio, but your heart's just not in it because you're so taken aback from it that it just, a small little ember just sort of flickers and extinguishes. Give me a con check, please.
It's a fail.
Give me a d6, please, for sanity loss.
Oh, uh-oh.
I'm on 4. I just took 6.
Flynn. Flint.
Yeah.
As you back away from the door, put your hands against it to push you back, you just see blood dripping from your hands. The physical manifestation of the blood that you've always carried around and felt was on your hands is just constantly dripping from you. Everything you touch, everywhere you see victims, reminders of the things you feel guilty from in the past. You can barely focus on anything. From now on, you will roll every roll with disadvantage as you head to full insanity. But the rest of you carry on, as does your army of NPCs, towards room 1707, the door of which, unlike any other, is ajar.
I'll just walk in.
I'll just give it up.
Just kind of unfazed by things.
I'll join you too.
I have the soundtrack to a future Hollywood movie playing in my head. So
Amazing. So you walk in, distracted by the sounds that you can hear. You sort of walk in, putting your hand on the door to push it further, blood dripping down it that only you can see. And you notice as you push it, the heavy door is adorned with runes that you might recognize as being symbols of containment. And it creaks slowly as it pushes open, and the chamber beyond is vast, far larger than any of the other cells that you've seen. But despite being large and roomy, it feels incredibly oppressive. The walls, once finely decorated, are now scratched and scarred, bearing testament to countless days of agony and despair. A chilling silence, but for 20 sets of footsteps behind you, dominates the room. Broken only by the ragged, shallow breaths of a man, cloaked and laying in shadows on a bed on the opposite side.
Rowan?
No response.
Rowan.
No response.
Can I try and tell him to stand up?
You can.
And I demand that he stands up.
No response.
I'm going to use Aguamenti to splash his face.
Fabulous. Give me a simple magic check with disadvantage, remember.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so that's a 27. That's a banger. And that's an 81.
Oh.
You cast Aguamenti, but the blood dripping from your hands sort of distracts you and you're suddenly trying to wash it off because you forget everything that's going
On myself, almost, yeah.
Oh no. Oh, I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm gonna try casting Legilimens on the figure.
Okay.
Please.
Give me a simple magic check, please.
Yes, there's a pass.
Lovely. So you try to read the surface thoughts of this figure at the far end of the corner, of the far end of the room, and there are no thoughts apparent. This person is clearly alive, but they must be in some sort of vegetative state or unable to think in any capacity.
Oh fuck.
Give me a constitution check for reading the mind of someone so tormented.
Pass, we're fine.
Nice.
Okay, well, I don't know what we should do, guys. I'm a bit scared to go over there, if I'm honest.
I could send a
Yes.
An expendable.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Can you see the blood in my hands? Or is that just me?
It's just you.
It's still there.
Flint, we need you. Pull yourself together.
Right. He puts his hands in his pockets. Right.
Nice. Take another -5, mate.
Oh. So I am going to demand the closest expendable to me to go in and just approach Rowan and tap him on the shoulder and...
Sure. So this very sort of posh, well-to-do looking fellow who earlier on challenged Mr. Beardmore to a duel sort of waltzes on in like nothing's happening, a grin on his face. And he walks up to Rowan and, or the figure, who looks up and you recognise Rowan from the pictures that Alaric showed you earlier. That definitely happened. And as he looks up, his face is illuminated by the moonlight that's sort of streaming in through the door. His eyes are sunken. His face is gaunt. The skin on his face and his hands that sort of emerge from the black cloak that he was wrapped in, they bear sores and runes that were burned into him. And he opens his mouth as though to speak to the NPC that you've sent in there. But the only thing that comes out is this putrid smell that fills the room, and an odd sort of hissing noise.
He's dead.
Is he dead? I don't know. I go over to him and I pour my elixir of healing down his open mouth.
Okay. Give me a Constitution check.
Yes, just.
Nice. So you get towards him and you sort of hurl the healing elixir down his throat.
Yeah.
And he sort of, as he's hissing, sort of gargles it all. And as you get close to him, you feel cold and this impending sense of despair. And you start to hear memories from your past, like maybe some of the most traumatic things you've heard, just distantly, not enough for it to really distract you from what's going on, but it's there and it convinces you to take another step back. Rowan, meanwhile, seems to have no real response to the elixir of healing. You can discern that he's perhaps too far gone to be healed through whatever transformation this is.
Shit. After all this.
Suddenly, behind you, a huge ball of fire begins to emerge and swallow up the NPCs one by one from the back of the corridor. As controller of them, can you please give me a Dex save? Needs to be half or better.
79.
The NPCs are swallowed up one by one. It's actually very lucky you sent one of them into the room because he is the only one that survives. And just as the fireball is coming towards you, it retreats. And at the end of the corridor, walking purposefully towards you with a big grin on his face, is a chap with a white coat on, who walks with a swagger, a twisted sort of look on his face, and he says, I see you have met my Dementor. I am Acrisdis, owner of the island and the fabulous facility that is pushing magic further than it has ever been pushed. You saw downstairs how I turned the Imperious Curse into a potion and then from potion into vapour and instantly could control a room of people in seconds. This is the first of many Dementors who will help me to dive deeper into the wonders that our mystical arts can perform. I am afraid, however, I'm not ready to reveal my technology to the wider world, meaning I can't let any of you leave with what you have seen. And he sort of snaps his fingers and you turn and see Rowan holding the NPC close to him, sort of, and the hissing has allowed this stream of air between their faces. And as he releases him, the NPC falls to the floor. Not dead, but void of everything that made him who he was.
shit.
Roll for initiative, please, everybody. As you run at him, you are intercepted mid-air by a werewolf. Pins you to the ground. You were foolish to come here. You could have been one of my best creations.
I started this journey running in fear. And I've ended it running towards the fight.